Welcome. You have reached review time with Imperial. Today's review would be the movie Becky, starring Lulu Wilson and Kevin James. Now, up until this point, unless I missed the movie, I have always seen Kevin James play in comedic films. Um, he's a good actor. Most of his films are comedic. I never really seen him in a serious role, and letting on a role where he's a villain. So this movie, he is a villain, and uh, it was interesting take to see him in this movie as a villain. And basically, uh, Kevin James, he stars as Dominic, and Lula Wilson, she stars as Becky, and Joel McHale, he stars as Jeff. Now, Joel McHale, he was in a Netflix series called Community, and that's where I first seen him on. And ironically, in a movie Community, his name was Jeff. His name is Jeff on this playing this role. There was other characters, but not more notably. Well, there was a character Robert Mellett as Apex. I definitely seen him in a few movies before. But let's get into it. So Becky, mom passed away, and she's been disturbed ever since then. Kind of like a troubled young teen, and she came to live with her father, who is Jeff, and he's pretty much, it's almost a year later, and since her mom has passed, and he's moved on, and a woman he's moved on to, she has a child, and pretty much he's going to get married to her. So Becky thinks she's coming out of, I think she was like in maybe a institution or something, and because she took it pretty hard that her mom passed, and when she's coming out thinking she's coming to live with the dad, at the same time he is telling her, well, hey, I'm going to move on and get married, and her and her son is going to move in with us. And then at the same time all this is happening, Kevin James is a inmate, and they're planning a breakout, in which they did, and they start killing people from the rip. There is a key that Kevin James and his crew is looking for that's inside of the home of Jeff's home, and that key unlocks something. So that's the whole plot. Kevin James and like four of his crew members break out. They're looking for this key. They show up to the house. Becky is upset that her dad is going to move on, and so she runs off in the forest. Inside the forest, she has like a tree house with her dog, and she's familiar with the forest, so she's not there. Meanwhile, back at the house, Dominic, which is Kevin James, comes in, and he's pretty much acting like he's looking for his dog, and pretty much he's scoping the land in the house. So they kind of pit him out the house, but he instantly turned violent. He shot the girlfriend in the leg and let them know he's looking for what he's looking for. And they asked, is anybody else here? And they said, yeah, Becky the dog, but really it's Becky the girl. So Becky had already found the key, and she's holding the key. And so it becomes this big thing, and Becky instantly becomes like a rebel. She witnesses them kill her father. And like I said, she was a troubled teen. So she's more of a teen that acts out, but upon her acting out, she definitely wants revenge. So one by one, as these men is trying to find out where she is, she's uh messing them up. She's killing them up one by one, strategically running through the forest. This little kid is running through the forest and killing these men out of rage, and that's pretty much the plot. And it gets all the way down to her and Kevin James, which is Dominic again. And at nighttime, she pretty much is just a one on one, and she about to kill him, and then he kind of gets loose, and then one of the guys that pretty much he had like a soft spot because he had kids too, so he kind of helped her with Dominic, and then Dominic shot him a couple times, but then she ran Dominic over with a lawnmower, and then Dominic was like, "Yeah, I think since I helped you guys, like this is like some redemption for me." And then she took the gun, and just blew his head off. So that was funny, and so it was really like a okay movie. Um, Very surprised that Kevin James took this role and did this role. I guess he wanted to see himself as a villain after always being playing comedic roles and like fun films. This is him saying I could play a villain. But the only thing with that is that when you see an actor or actress play a certain role, like majority of their career, the minute they play something else, you don't. It's like it doesn't really. They kind of stamp themselves as he's always been like the cuddly teddy bear comedic role playing actor, and then now he's about to play a villain. Like he like we don't really take you serious, man. I still see Paul Bart. You feel me? So whatever. So nevertheless, at the end of the movie, they never got to see what they were really looking for, which is that key unlock. And when she was being questioned by the authorities, they asked the authorities what was they looking for. She said a coin, Canadian coin. And sometime in the movie, she had a Canadian coin. She threw it off in the forest or whatever. And but she had the key the whole time. So I guess it's one of the movies that if the movie does some justice or does well, they make a part two, and then she gets to find out what that key really unlocks. Other than that, I don't know if this movie it came out of nowhere. I just happened to see it. So I don't know where this movie is going, whether it's Netflix or if it was supposed to come in the movie theater. I'm not sure. But nevertheless, I did watch it. Out of my 4-star rating system, I'm gonna give this movie a 1.5 out of 4 stars. It really wasn't that good. It was okay, but it really wasn't that good. 1.5 out of 4 stars. Subscribe and like to the channel. The content will keep coming as I see a film and I think it's intrigued to review. Till next time.